All right, let's start the season preview. Seems like we will have a Detroit Lions 2020 season, and there may even be fans in attendance. Heard they're going to have a limited capacity crowd, which also could mean you could be there for our season one uh, team, and that's what I'm going to preview today. Our season one and week 13 opponent, the Ops, the Chicago Bears. So we're going to talk about what's changed with the Chicago Bears and kind of size up the matchup. We're going to have injuries past this. You know, season-ending injuries and COVID positive tests and stuff of that nature. I seen a video where the Denver Broncos was walking through this security type of metal detector thing, but it was sanitizing the players. So they're doing everything to keep the players safe. So let's talk about the Chicago Care Bears. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. So start the season preview today. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the deadline for players to opt out of the 2020 season. But also, they can opt out past that if circumstances deem worthy. So I do understand they may have to give back a percentage of their season pay. So don't understand how that's going to go if they do opt out past Thursday per se. So when the news comes, I'll kind of give the game down. So Chicago, let's talk about Chicago. What have they done different this offseason? Let's talk about that first. I'll be glad when this COVID thing is over when I get my setup together. They have lost Nick Kwiatkowski to the Raiders, Clinton Dix to the Cowboys. They bring back Danny Trevathan in the inside. They lose Nick Williams to us. They lose Chase Daniels to us. They re-signed Deon Bush, So right now I'm not sure exactly what all they have done, but they released Prince Amukamara, Taylor Gabriel. Not sure if they got picked up. Also, Leonard Floyd, he signed a 1-year deal with the Rams. He gone, one of those Georgia Bulldogs they had. They signed Demetrius Harris, Trey Roberts, Robert Quinn, Jimmy Graham, and Artie Burns. I think Artie Burns was a quarterback at Auburn, and he's playing cornerback. They acquired Nick Foles. They bring back Devontae Bond to a 1-year deal. So that's what I got so far. I'm pretty sure they made some other moves, but those must be the more important moves. And they've drafted tight end Cole Kemet from Notre Dame. In the second round, they didn't have a first due to the Khalil Mack trade. Jalen Johnson, cornerback out of Utah in the second round. Travis Gibson out of Tulsa, outside linebacker, cornerback Kendall Vilder out of Georgia Southern. Wide receiver in the fifth round. They had 3 fifth rounders, so this is the last one. Darnell Mooney out of Tulane. In the 7th, they took Arlington Hambright out of Colorado and offensive lineman Lachavious Simmons out of Tennessee State. So that's what they pretty much done in the offseason so far. The ones that stick out the most is Nick Foles and Jimmy Graham and Robert Quinn is the ones, even some of the rookies I had never heard of, and I kind of covered the draft, but the channel was hacked this year, so I couldn't cover the draft like I wanted to cover the draft. So, bringing in, Jimmy Graham, he didn't work in Seattle. He didn't work with Aaron Rodgers. The book on him in Seattle was that he didn't work good because it really wasn't a time and pattern system. Kind of, Russell breaks the pocket. Russell does what Russell does, and Jimmy just didn't do well there. He had a punctual timing quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers didn't do well there. So I don't imagine he's going to do well, especially if Trubisky wins the job. Robert Quinn has somewhat of a rebirth with Dallas last year, so he signed for 5 years, $70 million. Damn, they gave him that much money. But he's going to be standing up, and I'm not sure how good he is standing up. He is athletic, but I'm pretty much know him as a defensive end, put his hand in the dirt, so he's going to be playing opposite side of Khalil Mack. That should be fun. And I guess that's why they let the Leonard guy go, and they felt more comfortable with Robert Quinn. And obviously the elephant in the room is Nick Foles. If Nick Foles stay healthy, can Nick Foles beat out Mitchell Trubisky and take the Bears to the next level? And if Nick Foles can play at a high level and stay healthy, which is the health is the big if. Even when he was in Jacksonville last year, he threw a block party there. You know what I'm saying? In the first half, I can't remember who they was playing. I can't remember who they was playing, man. But he in week 1, I can't remember who they was playing. I'm trying to remember who they played week 1. But he did really well until he got injured. He was throwing deep, and they was, the Chiefs, I think it was. He's playing well, in that game, and he was throwing the ball well. But when he came back after the injury, I think they rushed him, and he didn't look good. You know what I'm saying? So most people thinking he only effective quarterback in Philly, but I remember he was with the Eagles and they played the Raiders and he won me my fantasy because he tossed like 10 touchdowns one game. So I ain't gonna never speak bad on Nick Foles. I won that money. They ain't pay my money in full though. That was some whole shit, but you know how that go, playing with coworkers. But you know, that's the elephant in the room with Nick Foles. But you know, overall, you know, Chicago is a good team. I think they're the most talented team if they get quarterback play, and that's an if. If they do get good quarterback play, I know Trubisky start practicing with a guru, quarterback guru. But they get quarterback play, they dangerous because defense is good, you know. But they do have some holes defensively, and we're gonna talk about it. Maybe that's why they drafted that corner when they did. But you know, you look at offensively. Let's start there about what they're bringing out to the team. You got Trubisky and Foles and Taylor Bray. I mean, we'll talk about the quarterbacks in 1 minute. David Montgomery. They didn't get him the ball enough, and that's the problem with Matt Nagy. You know, David Montgomery seemed like one of those backs that get stronger, as the game goes. And, you know, Matt Nagy is a coach that don't like to run the ball. He's from the Andy Reid tree. They rather pass. And David Montgomery is the guy that need the ball even more and more. You had a quarterback last year in Chase Daniels and Trubisky who can't really fucking throw. And you continue to throw instead of lining up and running the ball with David Montgomery and doing some things with Tyreek Cohen. Allen Robinson, one of the best receivers in football. I believe somewhere in the top 15. Anthony Miller, love him. Cordell Patterson, you know, Ted Ginn Jr. they added. The issue is they got a talented receiving core with Miller and Robinson. They just don't have no quarterback play. Jimmy Graham, we talked about him. Offensive line, Charles Leo, James Daniel, left guard, left tackle, left guard. Cody White here at center. Jermaine Fidi at right guard and Bobby Massey at right tackle. So when I look at this offense, I see talent. I don't see a lot of big names across the offensive line. I know Chris Long, he retired. But when you're dealing with a statue of Nick Foles, you're going to need offensive line play. So hopefully the offensive line is together for their sake. But other than that, my issue with this offense is Matt Nagy. You know, he doesn't really have a quarterback-friendly offense. He want to go out there and throw the ball 60% of the time, maybe even 70% of the time in most games. He don't want to hand it off. When you have quarterback trouble, you have a fragile quarterback in Nick Foles, the running game is going to be imperative. Got to be the male lady at some point. I don't know what is wrong with dogs and male men and male ladies. I don't get it. But well, you need quarterback play. You know, the small dog is learning from the big dog. It's crazy. But you need quarterback play, and he don't have a quarterback friendly system where you can hand the ball off and you can do some play action. He like to throw. And that's been Andy Reid issue. Andy Reid had Donovan McNabb, and he had like Freddie Mitchell and Pinkston and Chad Hall, and they didn't have no receiver. And he just loved to throw. They had Brian Westbrook, though. He would just never line up and run the ball. And Matt Nagy the same way. You draft David Montgomery. He looked good in preseason, and he looked good when he get the ball, but they don't give him the ball enough. You know what I'm saying? They'd rather put Tyreek Cohen in there and throw the ball. And that's what's going to be the downfall of this team. Matt Nagy's inability to commit to running the ball, and that is an Andy Reid staple. You know, so I don't think they're going to get good quarterback play this year. You know, Trubisky, you know, you just don't grow corn out your head overnight and be a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback. He's not mobile enough to get by on that. They don't run the ball enough. And also, if Nick Foles should win the battle, you know, even if Nick Foles don't, at some point they're going to pull Trubisky. If Nick Foles do win the battle, they throw the ball too much, so it's going to be inevitable that he's going to get hurt. You got the Smith brothers, you got Danielle Hunter, Anthony Barr. In this division, he's going to get hurt. So I think the quarterback play is going to put them in the basement dweller this year. But if Matt Nagy can have a more ball control system and run the ball, and they can do more play action and have bigger windows, and they can run the ball Montgomery and Tyreek Cohen a little bit, I think they'll have some success, and I think they can win the division. But what's holding them back is Matt Nagy just don't have the quarterback to sit back and throw the ball, 30, 40 times a game. He need to, 20 times a game, run the ball 20 sometimes a game. They don't have enough balance. He don't have the patience to commit to running the ball. But defensively, I mean, they pretty good defensively. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the fact that Robert Quinn stands up. But we'll see. Akeem Hicks, John Jenkins, Bilal Nichols at right defensive end. So they running a 3-4. Khalil outside. Robert Quinn outside. Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan on the inside. I like Trevathan. I like, Roquan as well. Robert Quinn on the outside. Like I said, Buster Screen, who's more of a nickel cornerback. I thought they got him listed as the left corner. I like Tayshaun Gibson and Eddie Jackson is one of the best safeties in the league. Kyle Fuller, and I like him at corner as well too. So their defense wasn't as strong as it once was, man. And they lost Prince Amukamara. I guess they was done with him. But it's still strong. You got Khalil Mack. I think people didn't figure the defense out again, but I think it's easy to figure out the defense when your offense not making strides and they not, running the ball the way they should be running the ball and moving the ball the way they should be moving the ball at all. So I think that's the number one thing that's holding them back. I think this defense can be the best defense in the league, but offensively they don't move the ball enough. The defense on the field too much, and that is what it is. I think that defense could be the best with the offense holding them back. Now playing them week 1, very winnable game. I think the Lions match up pretty well with the Chicago Care Bears. We figured them out defensively. We had some good games versus them with Driscoll last year. We had a good game, I think, versus them versus Blog. He made some strides on Thanksgiving, but Chase Daniels ended up edging him out. But, defensively going to be the question. You know what I'm saying? Can you keep Trubisky in the pocket or, can you fluster Nick Foles and, basically stop for that offense? If you can stop for the offense, Stafford to find a way to move the ball is just enough on the defense to get the win. So, I think we match up well. This should be one of the more winnable games. If we do lose this game or lose it bad, and Nick Foles and Trubisky don't show out, or if they do show out and go down the line, play other teams and they look bad, this is going to be a bad omen. It's a bad sign. So this is a game they should win at home. They should dominate. The weather shouldn't be a problem. The crowd may not or may be a problem for Chicago or may. But then in the day, Chicago got a talented roster. They just lack talent at the head coaching position as far as, the play calling and the quarterback position. And that'll hold back any talented roster. So should be a winnable game. Week 13 might be a different story. Might be some elements there, but they don't commit to run the ball. So if the Lions can get some pressure on the quarterback, I think their defensive backs will hold up good enough to get the win versus them. Should be, but you don't know. Anybody can be injured. Stafford or somebody get the COVID. So, Chicago is a solid roster. I respect their roster, but I just don't see enough from the head coach and the offensive coordinator position, which I think he is both, in the quarterback position. But hey, let me know what you guys think about the Chicago Care Bears. Don't forget you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll be doing these season previews. Don't know what's going on with the preseason. I do know NFL teams are going through strength and conditioning right now, so that should be very, very interesting to see what injuries we get once the pads start happening, the padded practices. So don't forget to check out our Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Twitter is the fastest way. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal, subscription. Best way to donate is to share the video and check my other channel, Wild Goodfellas Sports TV, right here on YouTube. We go.